Good morning, I am Kevin Price. Delighted to be with you. Going to be talking to you about you and your business on today's program. I have, as always, a lot to talk about, and I want to jump straight into it. Paul Carroll is my first guest. He is a Price of Business contributor, a regular on this program. He's with a company called Efficient Wealth Management and does a phenomenal job with great stories and insight. And I do consider him a thought leader in what he does in the financial services field. Paul, as always, welcome. Do you want to mention to the audience, it's efficientwealthmanagement.com. What do you got for us today?
Well, good morning, Kevin. And I'd like to proudly announce today we're celebrating our fourth annual 49th birthday.
Your fourth, and is that for you personally?
That's for me personally. I know.
Yeah, I've been doing that too. I go further back, though. I stopped at 39. But anyway, so I'm somewhere around 14 or something like that. But anyway, congratulations, sir.
I think at 10 you can start counting back.
There you go. That's right. Yeah, absolutely. Thank God it's not dog years.
Yeah.
I'd be Methuselah's by now. But anyway, what do you got for us today?
Today we're introducing Tad Whisenant, a good friend of mine. He's an attorney here in the Woodlands, Texas. And Tad, tell us a little bit about your practice, what you're doing.
At Whisenant & Associates, we specialize in family law, and that encompasses everything from divorce to child custody, modification of child custody, child support, enforcement of child support, and more happily, adoption.
Very cool.
Great.
Yeah. How? Tell me about the history of your firm and how many people you have in it, that type of thing. Kind of your overview, if you will.
I've been practicing for a little over 20 years. I'm board certified in family law, and just to educate people about that, there are about, let's say, 80,000 lawyers in the state of Texas, and less than 1% of those lawyers are board certified in family law. I have an associate attorney that works for me. I have paralegals. I have office staff and legal assistants. I've been in the Woodlands for the last 15 years. I've lived in the Woodlands for the last 20. But my practice has been out here, and primarily we practice in Harris County, Montgomery County, Fort Bend County, and the surrounding area.
Very good. Go ahead there with your...
Well, Tad, you know, you may not know this, but I adopted my daughter, and I remember very clearly, she was 5 years old when I adopted her. I'd known her since she was 18 months. And I remember the attorney that we used, the family law attorney, and she said in a rather bleak manner, today is one of the few days I truly enjoy my job. I think what you do is an extraordinarily difficult profession. What would be your retort to that statement?
Well, I would have to say that I actually enjoy what I do every day. There are some things that provide me more joy than others, but essentially I deal with people who are normally sane, well-functioning people who are insane in the middle of a bad situation, and my job is to try to bring the sanity back to it and try to bring a pragmatic approach and try to take some of the emotion down, try to counsel with people. I mean, every lawyer's license says attorney and counselor at law, and doing what I do in family law, we do a lot of counseling.
Yeah, and I tell you right now, having had gone through a divorce before, it's incredible what it does. And I'm with Paul. I think it is one of the most challenging professions out there because there is so much emotion, and you just say goodbye to common sense during that process.
Unfortunately, that's true, but let me tell you something. If I were sitting in the chair of my client, I honestly can say I probably would be just as distraught as they are. It's a very emotional thing to go through. But again, we try to bring a common sense, pragmatic approach to it. And when we're fighting over money, I mean, quite honestly, you take the money that you spend on the lawyers, you lop it off the top, and you divide the rest. So, you know, never let a nickel get in the way of making $1 is what my wife's uncle always used to say. Mm-hmm. And it's the same thing. Don't spend money on lawyers if you can come up with a settlement.
Right, absolutely. Paul?
Yeah, in fact, Kevin, to bare my soul a little, I've talked to Tad on some personal issues over the many years we've known each other, and I've never met an attorney. A lot of family attorneys have a reputation for kind of stringing things out for revenues, whereas Tad, one of the things that really impressed me about this gentleman is his advice probably cost him business, and it was great advice. And, you know, I will say I'm happily married still, and that's good, but I can't speak highly enough about about what it means to have an ethical family lawyer in your court.
Yeah, absolutely. No doubt about it. What's the situation like in the Woodlands? What's kind of the trend as far as what kind of activities you've seen over the last few years?
Well, obviously, we've had a lot of different companies moving into the area, and all of these companies are basically moving in to follow the business of the larger companies. And so these larger companies, they get vetted by the Woodlands operating company when they're building out here, when they're leasing out here. These are Fortune 500 companies. They have complex benefit programs. They have lots of employees. And all of that sort of stuff brings in more families and more people. And obviously the relocation provides some springboard for the stress that can put people in the frame of wanting to get divorced. Mm-hmm. I have to tell you, I mean, people would believe that if the economy is down, that divorce is more prevalent, but it's actually the reverse. It's sort of your house is worth less, your retirement plan is worth less, you can't afford to get divorced. And so with the resurgence of the economy, we've seen divorce uptick. That's just kind of the nature of the beast.
Right, because there's more largesse in which to make a divorce happen. And so, yeah, people can be more pragmatic, and there's less guilt in the whole process because it's easier to take care of the other and that type of thing. That's true. It's kind of interesting, during the Great Depression, crime rate actually as a whole went down during the Great Depression. And I think that's because people were a lot more cognizant about taking care of one another. It's funny how that type of thing works. Gentlemen, thanks so much for being with us. Tad, real quickly, your website?
www.jtwlawoffice.com.
Very good. And, of course, Paul Carroll, you can reach him at efficientwealthmanagement.com. Gentlemen, great segment. And, of course, that is, as always, birthday boy Paul Carroll.
Happy birthday, Paul.
Thank you, Tad. Thank you, Kevin.
All right, have a great day, and look forward to talking to you next time here, Paul. I am Kevin Price. When we come back, much more for you. Do want to remind you, best content here. It shows up over there at usdailyreview.com, and this is The Price of Business.